Okay. In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of Franklin Township Environmental Commission was made by posting on the bulletin board in the municipal building, posted on Township's website, and electronically transmitted to the officially designated newspapers indicating meeting would take place in person at 7 p.m. in the municipal building on February 26th. Okay, take that. Somebody's poured my pencils there. We'll do roll call as next. No? Yes. Yes. Oh, one different. Walter Andrews?
Here.
Okay. Ted Chase?
Here.
Easy?
Yep.
Jessica's not here yet. Stan?
Present.
Arnold?
Here.
Robin Sudan?
She's not coming tonight, I don't think.
No, she's out of the country, I think. Maria Santiago?
No, she's not coming tonight.
She ain't come either. Paul Walensky, I'm here. Tara, you're here. Dave Patavnik is not here.
And Alyssa is here, our intern.
Right.
Yeah.
I should put her name on the
Oh,
phone.
that's okay.
Yeah,
We'll just tell her.
I didn't quite get her name fully into the minutes.
That's why I didn't have it
Can
up
you
here.
just spell your last name?
How's
B-A-N-D-E-R-H-O-O-F.
being?
Sure, it's wonderful. Is your first name Alice or Elizabeth?
Alyssa, and with a
Alice.
Y.
How old are they?
Oh, listen with a Y.
8 years and 14.
Okay.
Always right?
Keep up busy. I'm sure they are.
I have a short report from the chair. RideWise recently held a Zoom meeting to develop relationships between various Somerset County municipalities. I met with several representing Franklin Township Environmental Commission. I met with several mayors, deputy mayors, and 2 environmental commission members from other towns. This was a preliminary meeting to establish a municipal advisory committee which would be countywide. The other point of this report is a meeting that we held. Tara and I and Robin went to the Somerset Administration Building and met with Planning Director Walter Lane and one of his staff. I didn't get his last name, you know.
Tom Bacino.
Oh, Chino, I really messed it up. Okay. So we represented EC and the Open Space Committee Commission. Rails to Trails is a county-wide effort, but it does require the consent of Conrail and in some cases local landowners. So there's a while to go on it, but we are going to pursue it. Actually, Rails to Trails is a national movement, and Senator Ben Cardin from Maryland has been pushing that on a federal basis. They give grants to the states, and then the states give it out. But that I got from my daughter. She sent me. So she's his deputy chief of staff. Okay, so that's the approval of February 5th, 2024 minutes. Arnold, did you have anything on the minutes?
You can ask somebody
I
else.
move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, let's discussion on the minutes. No, none? Not now, okay. Ted, I think you got it done.
There were some comments that
Right.
were done
Before.
via email and
They were fixed.
adopted.
So all, let's vote for approval of the minutes. All in favor? Well, it passed, that's good. Public comment. The meeting is now open, I need a motion to open the meeting to public comment.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anybody from the public want to make a statement or anything?
Actually,
Sure.
I feel I could. My name is Ellen Bastola, and I've been a Franklin resident for 35 years. I'm a retiree from Rutgers University, the biology department, and then the health and safety office. And I have a lot of environmental concerns. After I retired from Rutgers, I worked part-time for the Solid Waste Resource Renewal Group, where we had I think it was a US EPA grant on food waste composting. And that is something that I'm very passionate about. I can bring that to the council. I have files on it. I believe we won an EPA Excellence Award. It's a natural resource. I mean, I'm doing minimal, a little bit of food waste composting in my kitchen, just vegetative and bakery waste. And I don't do the higher temperature, long-term, meat and cheeses and fats. But it could be a resource, it could be savings for, Franklin Township. Part of our grant was we went to every county, just about every county in New Jersey, conducting food waste recycling forums. And I felt very lucky that I met Tom Sacchi, who was the starter, the creator of TerraCycle. And we all know TerraCycle's now in Home Depot and Lowe's. And I learned about vermicomposting using, earthworms. It's like, what can Franklin do? It's like, I feel we could do something. We have so many residents. And in my condo community, I go out to the recycling shed and the garbage. I'm pulling stuff out. I'm going, you don't know how to, to segregate. You're throwing away good stuff. I take stuff to unique thrift store for them to sell. We're such a wasteful society. And I recently retired from being president of the Common Interest Homeowners Coalition, which was a statewide organization for advocacy for owners who are kind of abused in their common interest communities. I need another passion. So I thought I'd bring it here. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. I think Jessica was not here. I think she does composting.
Yes.
She had
I know Rutgers Dining, I think, uses the pig farms. They send their food waste, and that I think is wonderful. But we all just look at what you put in the garbage that goes to the landfill, the organics.
When you talk about composting, are you talking aerobic or anaerobic?
What?
Aerobic or anaerobic?
No, I'm not doing anaerobic. I just have a little bucket in my kitchen, and
Composting, almost by definition, is aerobic.
it's the natural decomposition of organics. Yeah.
Because if you do it anaerobically, you can get methane, which you can use it with.
It's more difficult.
I know, because
It's not hard. I just put my floral and my vegetative and bakery waste in a little bucket, and I hate to say it, don't rat me out. I have woods behind, and I spread it in the woods. It's organic.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the animals want to eat the parings of my, my kale or whatever, have at it. Otherwise, decompose. Give it back to Mother Earth.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Anybody else have any comments?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, Debbie Stewart, 2 Barrington. This is almost like I heard it through the grapevine, which is silly to even bring up. But on one of the Franklin Facebook pages today, somebody said they are cutting down trees. They just noticed it. And the address they said was Davidson, and I was trying to figure this out, and old New Brunswick, but Davidson doesn't really, it's New Brunswick, isn't it, the Davidson?
Yeah.
Yes, so I was trying to look tonight, it was too dark. But is there something going on that new right there? I'm gonna look tomorrow when it's lighter, but we don't know anything about that.
There is
Not the onyx, not the onyx.
a site plan proposal in planning office for the west corner of Davidson and Brunswick Road, but they shouldn't be cutting down the trees yet.
Well, that was what again, I'm just hearing it through the grapevine. I'm gonna check tomorrow, but you go by it, I'm sure. Yeah.
you're talking about 390 Davidson.
Yeah.
That's what we looked at last week, or last meeting, was on that corner. There's a proposal, in fact, there's another proposal from, which I'll get to when we get to plans. This one is 315 Davidson. That's their data treatment works approval. It's submitted to the DEP. I don't know what's going on.
All right.
Okay, thanks. Good Lord. And there was Onyx, I sent you that email.
Yeah,
I think it was Onyx.
What
Somerset.
was your last name?
Stewart.
Stewart.
S-T-U-A-R-T. Yeah.
Clarence.
Okay, anyway, I'm gonna look tomorrow.
Okay, so we'll have a motion to close public.
So moved.
Is there anybody else that wants to?
Yeah, I already asked the wheels raise their hands.
Well, why don't you have a comment?
That's fine.
Yeah, that's you. Okay, sure, honey.
Yeah, I don't know if this is appropriate to talk about, if I already sent it to you. But we read in the Franklin Reporter about the gonna say it wrong, help me.
No mow
until
Earth
Day.
What?
The no mow until Earth Day.
Oh, no, no,
yeah.
oh, that's,
And I know you didn't get to it yet, but what a fantastic idea. And we were talking at home that it would be nice if we could have yard signs to go with it, because then more people would do it and the neighbors would accept it. I think the one thing that, I mean, who wants to mow? I think this is a great idea on that sense also, but there's a little bit of pressure from neighbors to keep to mow. But if we can explain, you know, with a little sign, anybody who's doing this, a little sign, I think people would get on board and they would not only be accepting, but also do it.
I think that's an excellent idea, because people do complain about those things, but if you can plant a sign on your lawn, and I don't know if there's anything, and by the way, this is Stan's idea.
yeah, that's why I pointed to Stan.
That's a great idea.
But I think that if there's any way we can get, I mean, it's still early enough, I would think, that we might be able to get some money from the township to print up signs and.
We could ask, yeah.
and
It's like
hand
a
them
real
out.
estate sign?
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
something
It
like
doesn't
that.
have to be as big, but yeah,
Like
something
the
like
lawn
that.
sign that has the
Some kind of
two
lawn sign.
metal
It doesn't
things,
have to-
yeah.
But you're doing this on purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yes.
and I think people would be curious about it. I think people will do it. Most people will do it.
Yeah,
And if there's like a website or a QR code to like maybe the article even, if like, you know, some people might not be reading the reporter, but as a way for them to be like, oh, what's that about? And then like a resource to learn about it, that sort of thing.
Well, now you're asking too much. I'm
Like
sorry.
it.
So, but
Excuse me,
on the
if I
same,
could make a comment, because I got the flyer, whatever, about that, and I live in a condo community. I immediately cut and pasted and I sent it to my board. So, you know, and I asked them, you know, check the contract, what does the contract with our landscaper say, and let's abide by this. And I think it also mentioned not applying any chemicals yet either. So it's like, you know, condo communities are, you know, we have so many,
Yeah.
you know, self-governing communities. Let's reach out to them.
You know, I have a question about it, when that showed up in my Gmail, where it said from Franklin Township, so how do we get that out to everybody?
Yeah, so it went into the Franklin Reporter, it's on our website.
Right.
And I asked that it be put on
Circulate.
FTTV and that it be put on our social media.
Right?
So I don't know if it's up there yet
The
or not.
reporter didn't put it up yet, right?
That's how you saw
they
the
did.
reporter,
It was
yeah.
No, it was Franklin Times.
Franklin Times, I'm sorry,
Times.
Franklin Times,
Yes.
yeah.
You could also possibly put out as with a Nixle blast.
Nixle thing.
We could, yeah, I could ask for that,
I mean, it
yeah.
showed up in my
Signs,
email,
intersections.
and then I went back, because one of my friends said, how'd they get into our Google group? But it wasn't on the Google group, it came right from Franklin Township. So that's the first time we've done that.
yeah, so on the same lines, I saw it on Franklin Times, right, and I made copies and sent it across all my neighborhood.
Oh,
My
great.
older, you know, senior citizens, they were wondering whether you could get a copy from the township directly into mail, so that they could directly show it to the lawnmowers. The lawnmowers are now going to challenge them, right? No, we want to come. So they were very worried about the fact that lawnmowers will compel them to, you know, get the lawns cut beforehand. But I think uniformly we've told all our lawnmowers that no one's going to come until end of April, early May. So, but I think maybe next year, for the next year, we may want to plan it better. If you can just, you know, have flyers mailed, dispatched to every house, if the township can allow us.
Mhm. Okay,
It's very well taken, so people are
Yeah.
talking about it now.
it really
Yeah,
is.
and you have to find out what.
Good luck, yeah. We'll
Well,
try.
I-
We'll try.
I can give you a little bit background. The original idea was no mow May. It sounds much better, right? And that came out from folks in Midwest, because they have spring later. And for them, May works. And I tried it a couple of years for the first time. May doesn't work either. You just get tall grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the early flowers like dandelions, they come up actually in April, March. They kind of grow and they come back again in the fall. But and most importantly, those pollinators, they do come earlier. Okay, in May that's too late.
And then when you mow them, it spreads the seeds a little bit. That's-
My name, Suzanne Kafas, I'm the one, my email was up there.
That was your email,
Okay.
yes, because I realized Jessica sent me her correspondence.
Oh, that one? Oh.
Yeah, so she must have,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. So we'll close the public comment period. Somebody make a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So then we go to correspondence.
Okay, I have the correspondence. So the first one up was, we just spoke, so we're all covered there, okay. So there was something from Laura Schwach. She's from New Jersey Conservation Foundation, I think. But she says, I serve as a board member.
She's left it.
Oh, right. I serve as a board member for ANJAC. The organization requests that board members try to visit ECs to find out about their activities and see if ANJAC's programs are helpful in addressing your needs. I can attend a regular meeting in person or virtually, or talk with the chair or other contact on the phone, whatever is convenient for you. Let me know your preference. So she's a board member of ANJAC, and she wants to know, should she come to one of our meetings to talk to us? Do you want to just talk to her alone, the chair and her? Let's ask her to come to the meeting. Okay.
Which one was this list?
Her name's Laura Schwach. She
Oh,
used
she's-
to work at New Jersey Conservation Foundation, but now she's a board member of ANJAC.
ANJAC. So we work with ANJAC all the time.
Yep. Okay, hold on.
And the town did pay our dues.
Yes.
I saw that email.
Okay. Then we have, someone wrote in, let me see, what is this? My name is Omkar, I am 14, I'm a Boy Scout from Troop 18. I am currently the rank of Star Scout, and in order to advance the rank of Life Scout, I require 3 volunteer service hours related to conservation. Are there any opportunities within the township that would allow me to complete this requirement? Okay,
Street cleanup.
yeah.
Sign them up.
Would that be 3, if you think it'll be like 3 hours, or you can get 3 hours?
Yes, yes.
The date of that one is what, April
13.
13th?
Okay.
It's a long time ago, but I forgot.
I'll tell him that, and we have 2 more. Okay, hang on, sorry, this is the first.
April 16th.
April 16th.
It's my memory.
I thought it was April
No, I
13th
think-
I
too.
thought it was the 13th.
Yeah, we have the
That was
13th.
23 last year. It was
Oh,
on
really? We have the
13th.
13th down.
And,
Isn't cleanup on Saturdays?
yeah, it is Saturday.
Yeah, the 13th, I think
is
is
Saturday.
correct.
I have it on 13th in my calendar.
I think it is.
Oh, I was looking into March.
There you
So you're
go.
right, the 13th.
You know you can't mow in May or
Stanley.
All right, let's see here. We got another one.
It's the Android.
2 more, actually.
April 13th.
Love my Android.
No, it's not.
My name is William
But I
C.
had to make an
Amolo,
excuse
and
now.
I am a resident of Franklin Township. I am writing to you today as a concerned citizen who is committed to the sustainability and environmental health of our community. The increasing impacts of climate change have prompted me to inquire about our local environmental initiatives. It is within this context that I am reaching out to ask about the steps our township is taking to mitigate these challenges. Specifically, I am interested in learning whether the Franklin Township Environmental Commission has developed or is in the process of developing a climate action plan. A comprehensive climate action plan would be extremely helpful for outlining the strategies and measures our community will undertake to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, enhance resilience to climate impacts, and transition towards a more sustainable future. Thank you for your attention and for the work you do to protect and enhance our community's environment. So I can write back to him kind of what we're working on.
We are
and
working on a climate action plan.
We're not working on the climate action plan yet, but we will after the
If-
sustainability.
if-
It's
if
down the
we do.
road, yeah.
It's the end unit, the end of where we're headed to.
Right. And that actually is it. I'll communicate for correspondence.
Okay. Correspondence. So from site plans, this one you didn't see, this one about the bridge?
That's just a request for treatment works
No,
approval.
actually, they asked for more than, this is the Reynolds Group, for Royal Somerset Inn, 315 Davidson. It says,
Right.
the applicant proposes to construct a 24-foot wide access road across an unnamed tributary to the river. from an existing hotel site to provide access to the undeveloped land on the property. An 8-inch dry sewer main and manholes will be constructed within the project limits. Separate application will be submitted for future site improvement and future operation of this application,
Yeah.
stage 3.
But this is all part of a treatment works approval application
Yes.
because it's for access, so it's
Right.
not a site plan review,
No,
but yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah, because the thing is, why are they gonna put the bridge in and it's undeveloped land? They're gonna take down some trees
Yeah.
to build something.
Yeah,
So we should be alert to this
Yeah.
and watch what
I
happens.
heard something about this, that they were afraid that some state regulation will prevent them from doing this in the future, so they wanted to get it established
Right.
before a regulation goes in. I don't know where I heard this, but
Yeah, they talked to they already sent an application to the Storage Authority here in town. There's the treatment works approval, and it's all in here. So that's something in the works.
yeah.
That's, and then the ones that you did,
Oh, yes,
you want
so
to mention those?
let me just back up and say real quick, so the process, I think I talked about last month, the process for site plan review is going to be completely digital moving forward. Last month I had a meeting with Mark Healy and Christine Woodbury. He is the planning director for the township, and Christine Woodbury is the secretary for planning and zoning. So we had a meeting, and basically what's going to happen is that all applicants are going to be asked to submit their plans digitally, and if there's any amount of copies that we need, we can request them. So if someone really wants a paper copy, we can still get one. But instead, they're being currently asked to submit like 15 or 16 or 25 copies of plans, which is crazy. They just get thrown out, wasted. So now, the planning board and the zoning board of adjustment have been putting the plans up on the website for quite some time, really since COVID, when we had to start doing reviews digitally. So I know, Easy, you like doing reviews digitally, so do I. We can still get paper copies, like I said. But in order to make sure that we don't miss any of the digital submissions, Christine is going to send me a copy of the TRC agenda, which is the Technical Review Committee. They review the applications that come in first, basically for completeness and kind of to get the planning board ready. So she's gonna send me that agenda every week, and it has on it what has to be reviewed for, like, what's coming up that we have to review. So I think that's a good way to kind of keep us on, like, what is outstanding, what's not outstanding,
Copy
right?
the whole commission?
No, she's sending it just to me, and
Yeah,
then
but
I'll
you-
usually distribute it, like I do.
That's what I was going to.
But in this instance, so normally I would get this and I would distribute to myself, Paul, Ted, and EZ. But in this case, the 3 that were on were super simple, so I'll just go through them really quick.
Just a quick question before
Yeah,
that. For
yeah.
the portal now, what about resubmissions? Are they going to, give us our responses in the
Yes,
resubmission?
so in the review letters that come from the planning board now, they have a standard blurb,
the
and we have a
engineer.
standard blurb, and engineering that says, we require that you submit a memo or whatever of all the changes you've made for resubmission. So they have just started being put in there, like probably last month. So, but moving forward, our letters also, we have a standard blurb. So, yeah, so hopefully they start doing it, I mean, technically now, because it's in our review, if they don't do it, we can require it, but it's in there. So, yeah, that would be very helpful, very, very helpful. So the first one is, the name of the project is, hold on, let me get it. AHSR Realty, and basically what this one is, it's very straightforward. The ordinance, I'm trying to read this code, definition of single-family home per the ordinance doesn't permit for a secondary kitchen. I'm requesting, this person would like to put a secondary kitchen in their house, and apparently the ordinance does not permit a secondary kitchen. So they're not, adding anything to the house, it's not an addition, it's within the existing footprint, so this is probably a no comment from.
Yeah, they wanted a vegetarian kitchen
Yeah,
as well as.
yeah. So that's gonna be a no comment, because there's nothing for us to comment on, plus it's a single family, interior modification, so. I'm gonna do that one last.
that will probably have to go to the zoning board though.
That's under zoning board, all 3 of these are under zoning board. The next one is I'm sure I'm gonna not say this correctly, Karthikeyan Kupaswamy. And that is located at 5 Summerfield Drive. Apparently, the landowner had hired a landscape architect to put down a hardscape patio. And basically, the application says that they trusted them with the measurements, and what happened was is the landscaper did not do the measurements correctly, so they have exceeded the impervious coverage limit, not on purpose. So the zone allows for 35% impervious coverage, and now this home, which is just a patio that was overbuilt, is now at 43.7% impervious. So it's already done, it's already there, so they're applying for a variance after the fact. So,
Easy to say, like, you know, I don't know how somebody made a mistake.
yeah.
And that's Summerfield, and it's right across the street
It
from
is.
us, yeah.
So we could request that they put in a rain garden or something to kind of compensate for the impervious coverage overage.
But there's not a lot of room in those.
There's
those
not.
lots. There's not a
That's
lot
the
of
only
room.
problem. So any comments?
What
or-
can we ask them as a, kind of,
I mean, really we could request that they remove enough of the patio to get to the impervious coverage, but it's kind of, yeah, I mean, it's there, it's kind of drastic. So, we could ask for a rain garden.
is the patio underneath, like, is it slab or?
It's on a, yes, it's on a slab, and basically they're saying the reason they're requesting the variance after the fact is, let me tell you what they wrote. The property is a severe sloping site. A level hardscape patio is the only way to really use the rear yard. So that was the reason for putting it in. And then again, they're saying that the landscaper incorrectly measured, and now after the fact, they've realized that they've exceeded the impervious coverage. So. Yeah.
Do they have an inspection coming up?
I'm assuming that they had an inspection, and the
Okay.
inspector probably found that they exceeded the impervious coverage, which is now why they're applying for a variance after the fact.
Can we suggest them to plant a tree?
We could, yeah, we could
Or,
absolutely.
or raised beds everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
There might be room for a tree. I've only been back all the way in the back of
Just so
Summerfield.
that we are not giving them absolute
Yeah.
free way.
If
Not
they're-
that we
They have a
are-
board
not
too,
that
and
they
they
are
have a
bound,
board.
because we are still only making recommendations.
Yeah, they're not bound, but you're right, I mean, that definitely could be,
That's a good idea. Make a recommendation that they find some place to plant the tree. They'll have to get the approval of their HOA, but with us recommending it,
A
maybe.
tree that when it's grown up does not shade a roof,
Right,
because the roof should have solar,
right.
yeah.
so.
Those houses, some of them are 10 years old or more. Yeah, they're kind of late. So I think some have solar over there.
Yeah.
Is
All
this,
right.
where is the north? North is like this way?
Yeah, it's like the north is pointing like this.
Right, so,
So see on the property, they already have a gazebo, an elevated deck. Here's the patio paver that we're talking about.
so any tree they will put will cast shade on their own house.
Yeah.
There's probably
It's a
setback
punishment.
requirements. They might be able to get a tree in the back. One of the
Yeah.
corners.
Yeah, we could request that.
Short tree.
Mhm.
Or maybe in front of the house there is maybe some space. What is the dashed line at the bottom?
That is a blanket utility easement, 10 feet wide.
Ah, okay.
There's a lot going on there. They have a masonry porch, an asphalt driveway.
So this is the front over here.
Yeah.
They got a tree in the front yard like we have.
Yeah.
No, you don't think so?
Oh, no, I'm just, oh, I was shaking my head, you were
Oh.
looking at me, no. I'm just the
Sorry,
audience,
I'm
don't
sorry.
involve, can I ask a question?
No, we
No.
don't have that.
At the next public comment,
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
for sure.
Yeah, we open comment
Absolutely.
to get it.
Yes, got it, okay.
Okay, I can put that in there, that they plant a tree. I'll get the language in there.
Okay.
And then we have one more, which is, let me get my checklist up here. Checklist. Okay. The next one is Thorn Temple Ministry. This is located at 686 Hamilton Street, and it's part of the Hamilton Business District. The total acreage of the site is just under half an acre. The applicant's proposing to convert the existing building, so we've seen this one in the past before. They are proposing to convert the existing building from an eating and drinking establishment that has office space to a banquet hall that also will have a house of worship space and professional office in there. The house of worship is a conditional use in the Hamilton Business District zone, and the banquet hall and offices are permitted uses, so they're not seeking any use variance. They do require 8 bulk variances because basically the building that they're using comes like this, and they're not trying to make any alterations to the building, but the way that the building would be a pre-existing non-conforming use. However, because the ownership has now changed, those uses are not grandfathered in. So what they're asking variances for are the street setback. You're required to have 50 feet, they only have 3.8 feet, that already exists. The side yard setback, 25 feet are required, only 9.5 feet exist. The lot frontage required is 100 feet, there's only 75 feet. There's an existing sign area that you can have a maximum of 25 square feet, and they are proposing, they just say more than 25 square feet. So I guess they're thinking they'll take as many signs or as large of a sign as they can get. The existing sign height is a 10-foot maximum, and they have proposed more than 10 feet. The existing sign setback is 25 feet, and they have 0. Minimum parking spaces required are 22, they're only proposing 5. And then they have an agreement for 18 parking spaces with a neighboring property. The minimum parking total is 45, and they're only proposing 27 total, which I don't really have a problem with.
Is that the one where the church is, would only be on Sundays and most of the
Yes.
other area would be closed, so the parking spaces
Yeah.
would be available?
Yep.
I remember that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So basically
They've
the
changed it a
reason-
little bit.
A little bit, a small change, but the main reason they're submitting it is they've submitted a plan of the existing building and the architecturals. They're requesting a waiver from submitting a full site plan because they're not making any
They're not
changes
making
to the
changes.
site.
Right.
So really, we've already reviewed this, I can submit the same comments, but the reason for the resubmittal is they don't want to have to submit a full site plan.
Because
They're not really making any changes that should require that.
Yeah.
So, and the variances they're requesting are all bulk variances that are existing. So,
They're not doing any ripping up of sidewalks or that kind of stuff, so
No.
there's no leeway to do anything more.
no, I mean, basically in order to meet the variances, they would have to make alterations to the building,
Right.
which would probably be a lot more invasive and intensive in terms of environmental issues than if they just use what's the existing building.
Opinions of the commission? Just no comment, or what? Anybody have any feelings about it? Easy, you, Walter, Ted? No?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do, okay.
Perfect.
Good.
All right, and that is it for the
No,
site
moving right
plan.
along.
But Tara, when you're writing to the previous car applicant, do let them know that, you know, you have to take permission. Just
Yes.
make it very strongly, put the
Yeah.
comment in there.
That you have to, that you're responsible
Yeah.
basically, even though it was.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, got it, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
What was the name of the ministry?
It's Thorn Temple Ministry.
Thorn?
Thorn with an E at the end, so THORNE. Temple Ministry, yep.
Okay.
And that is that for the site plan review.
Okay.
I guess real quick, before I move forward, maybe this is something we can decide at the committee level, unless everyone here has should we be requesting one paper copy always? I don't really see it necessary. We end up throwing it out. It's a lot of
We do.
paper to carry.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to have us get a paper copy that then I can take on to use for my planning board review.
Oh, right. And you can use a double. Oh, so maybe if you just get one from the planning board, or from us, you'll just get one from, she has the plans though, so maybe you get it from, but this one comes first.
Well, if
So we'll
the
give it to you.
environmental commission
Yeah.
gets a copy,
We
then
do.
you can pass
Okay.
it on to me.
Okay, we can do that. So I'll ask for one copy.
One-
I'll ask for one
It's
paper
also
copy.
because a lot of people have laptops and can look at the plans right while
Yeah.
they're sitting on the days. I don't have a laptop.
Okay. And I'll say you'll use it for the planning board, so it really is, you know,
Dual,
yeah.
dual purpose.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, I can do that.
Okay.
Thanks, Ted.
Okay, so then we're up to new business.
Yes.
And the first one talks about the abandoned or not usable, what was the right word he told us? No, not use abandoned.
They said not to use the word abandoned, but not in use or
Not
something like
usable,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
The railroad, Conrail doesn't want to admit that anything has been abandoned.
Yeah. So Paul,
It's
what
just not
Paul
in
had
use.
mentioned, Robin, Paul and I met with the county planning board director, Walter Lane, and Tom Pacino, who is the supervisor of preservation planning at the county. And Robin had wanted to meet with them to discuss basically turning abandoned, what the train company calls not in use, rail beds into trails, so rails to trails kinds of things. She's on the Open Space Advisory Committee as well. So we kind of met to talk with them because the township has had a lot of difficulty working with Conrail to kind of get this done. And we met with the county, they basically said the same thing. They have not been able to do it in the county at all because working with CSX and Conrail has proven to be difficult because they tend not to want to give up those rail beds. Even if they've not been in use for 20 years, they want to hold on to them just in case, just in case. They also don't want to take on the liability. Because one of the questions was, could we do it through an easement, like a long-term easement? They don't really want to take on the liability of doing that. So Walter did say that if we were able to kind of come up with some concepts for the rail bed that we're talking about, which is by Veronica Ave and it connects to 27, right? If we were able to kind of get some concepts in, he could make a connection between us and the Conrail and maybe even NJTPA to see if we can kind of come to some agreement, but they weren't very optimistic, which is understandable.
As I remember, Robin has a connection with the transit authority.
With the transit authority, yeah.
They may be able to help us as well.
Yeah, but it's gonna be, I mean, you know, we've known in Franklin that this would be kind of difficult, and the county kind of confirmed that. So I don't know how it's gonna move forward, but we're gonna try and do some research and see what we can do to kind of push that.
Is it known what is dragging Conrail?
They don't want to give up, they really just basically don't want to give up those rail beds, even if they haven't been used for 20-something years.
Is it because they think that they
think they might potentially use them, they think maybe they can sell them for more money, maybe down the road, but it's like an asset that they don't want to get rid of. So even in Somerset County, they've been unable to come up with an agreement for anywhere, not just in Franklin, so.
Yeah, we came up at the open space meeting and Bob Bornlocker said you can't get anything out of Conrail.
Yeah.
That's what he told me.
We had to, we paved over where Veronica and Clyde go over the rails, but we had to agree that if Conrail ever wanted to reactivate the rail line, it would be up to the township would be required to remove the pavement.
Right.
Yeah, the
Right.
thing is that the rail is still surrounded by some businesses.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, very true, you're right.
And as we electrify all the transportation sector, it turns out that actually whatever transported by rail is more economical.
Yeah,
because
very true.
The rolling resistance, steel on steel is much less than rubber on pavement.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can electrify, we are not in Europe, but
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Well, they eventually took up the rails from Monmouth Junction to Kingston and up to Trap Rock.
Yeah, he mentioned Trap Rock over there.
Yeah. I can remember actually seeing a train cross Route 27 there in Kingston. It was probably the last one.
Oh, wow.
It was
when was it?
1970. It was
Yeah.
the state had a material storage, what's now the Flemmer Preserve there.
Oh, okay.
So I think they were just delivering stuff to that.
Yeah. Huh.
But there were, within my memory, tracks all the way up to Trap Rock.
Oh, wow.
There was also talk of some landowners weren't thrilled with the bike path along their backyard. That also had some,
No, so actually it was funny, so, because I used to work at the county planning office, when I went in there, I told them one of the first things I did when I started working there in 2006 was a grant application for Franklin Township to turn the rail bed behind, it's on South Middlebush Road, and it's, you know the name of the street, it's
Smith Street.
Smith, yes.
Yeah.
It's off South Middlebush Road. Franklin had put in a grant to turn that into a trail connection, and the county awarded the grant, and the town was never able to use the grant because there was so much opposition from the property owners there.
Who were all using the,
the
well, it was two things.
Right.
The people along Smith Street were using the rail bed as an extension of their backyards.
Yeah.
And then people at the Elizabeth Avenue end were very concerned about loss of privacy.
Yeah.
We had the
Yeah.
trail through to there.
And that was in 2006, so that was almost 20 years ago, and it was a problem then, so it's just
Yeah,
difficult.
well, that was not a problem with Conrail, that
No,
was with
That was with the
house
neighbors,
owners.
yeah.
And in reviewing the L'Oreal application, I could see that at least one house at the end of Gary Court has acquired the Conrail right-of-way bordering
Oh, wow.
their lot
Oh,
there. So
huh.
they gave up, beyond,
So they cannot service L'Oreal. And
Interesting.
L'Oreal is the biggest. I don't see this actionable because the disruption of the traffic on Clyde and Veronica, I don't see it doesn't have any legs.
I
this
know.
rail.
I think it's such an uphill
I mean,
battle. We can do the initial legwork, but I don't know.
Even with the trail, we will still have problems because the foot traffic needs to cross these.
yeah.
You're right. I agree. I agree with you. Yep. I agree.
Okay. The second item was sustainable PSE&G partnership for energy efficiency.
Yes, so I attended a webinar from Sustainable Jersey. It's called the program that they're running is called Energy Efficiency Partnership. It's with PSE&G. So the goal is to support municipal actions to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Franklin Township is eligible for this grant because we are 100% served by PSE&G. Currently Somerville and Princeton also participate. There's 3 tracks for the program. Once one is complete, you can actually keep applying for grants to do the other 2 tracks if you want. So the first tract is the municipal tract, and basically that looks at, it delivers virtual training and outreach plan, templates for community outreach, and if you apply, basically Sustainable Jersey will help you. They will send out a professional videographer to make a video that you can put on your website that explains what the benefits of residential and commercial energy efficiency are. They will give you a table runner. They will do direct mailings that they pay for the postage and all the supplies, social media templates, door hangers, brochures, and that's all to say, here's these great programs for residential energy efficiency and commercial energy efficiency. There is a commercial tract, which is that Sustainable Jersey will help specific businesses develop an outreach plan where they can get direct install money. So to actually implement some of the energy efficiency and conservation measures, they'll help throw a Chamber of Commerce event. They also do the video promoting energy audits in commercial buildings. If we work on this, we can get up to 20 points for our Sustainable Jersey certification. The last tract is that there's a school district tract, and so they can apply separate of us. The great thing for school districts is you don't have to be registered or certified with Sustainable Jersey to apply. You can just be a school district. And they'll do the same things. They actually get the students involved in a program called Empowered, which is where they teach students, how to look for energy, waste, how to propose energy efficiency, how to bring it home to their parents, and it's a whole program that they do for that, as well as everything I told you about before. Enrolling in this program would actually also fulfill one of our community energy plan initiatives, which is the residential and municipal efficiency. So that would basically cover that. We would also get 3 training sessions and then all the required materials we need, and the application is due April 5th. So we already have a lot of grants kind of floating around, but when I see one that I think is really gonna kind of help us achieve more than one thing, I think that's a good one to apply for. So if we apply for this grant, we're not gonna get money, but we will get, they will pay for, like I said, the direct mailings, all the kind of, you know, videos and all this stuff. They will also train us in 3 different trainings, and it'll really be a good way to complete one of our community energy plan actions, and it could get us up to 20 points for our Sustainable Jersey certification. So I think it's worth applying for. It's due April 5th, so we have time. And so I wanted to see if you all agree, and if so, then I can recommend to the township that we apply, you know, for this grant.
And what do we use the money for specifically?
So they don't hand money to us directly, but what they will do is they'll come up with flyers, for example, print them and pay for the direct mailing.
Communication.
Yeah, they also give us a table runner, so when we go to tables, they give us one of those vertical signs, which Robin has wanted.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And then the videographer, so they send out a videographer and they'll help people from the Environmental Commission, maybe might be in the video, the mayor probably, and it goes on the social media and out to all of our residents.
It could be a.
And all of it is to bolster
The flyers will be distributed in which part? How?
all of Franklin.
By
So
mail?
it could be by mail. They also do door hangers, brochures, social media templates, so a multimedia
Okay.
approach. And it's really, and it'll have a QR code on it, and it will say, here is a link, you know, to some great programs.
Okay.
So I think it's worth it. I mean, it doesn't seem like it would be a lot of work from our end,
If-
although I
If
don't
you
know.
can get it into your timelines, that's okay.
Yeah, I think I can. It's just attending these virtual trainings, but more than I can do it. Like, you know, someone from the EC
Oh, yeah.
maybe could do one. And
I hope that they will also include information on the IRA tax credits that are coming up next year.
I think so. I think one good thing is, I think if we really want that, we can say we want this in the advertisements that we do. So I think we have some
The only
customizing
reason
power.
I'm mentioning it because there was a town hall meeting on Thursday with New Jersey
LCV.
LCV, League of Conservation Voters, and
Okay.
it was advertised with Bonnie Coleman Watson, but they were discussing the benefits and of the IRA, what is coming up.
Okay, yeah.
So all
I
the
think we can
electric,
ask for that.
Stuff I know, but
Yeah.
electric vehicle I know, but
Mhm.
what I didn't know was the home improvement incentive that will be coming up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, you know,
think
heat
that's
pump,
great.
heating, heat pump, water heater, and all
Yeah.
that good stuff. So that kind of fits into the energy efficiency.
Okay, I like it. I mean, it's a good time right now. Alyssa is here. She can help put the grant application together. So that would be a good project for you, and also be like super helpful for me. So I think I really kind of just need if you all agree, a recommendation to forward, to
Oh,
forward.
I move that we apply for the energy
We need
efficiency
to move,
plan.
then I second that.
Okay, good. All in favor?
Aye.
Do it.
Awesome. All right, I will get that going.
Okay. Reports from subcommittees. Maria's not here. We don't have any plans.
Oh, wait, she sent something,
Oh, she
Maria.
sent-
She didn't send a report, but she said something she wanted to ask about. Let me
okay.
see where it is. Hold on, I have so many emails up at this
Was
point.
it,
Here it is, okay. Oh, yes, Dan, are you on that? You're on this, about the youth center and youth
right,
council?
right, but.
So you can probably report on that.
Well, you have it on the screen. So it's related to our proposed activity to visit their meeting so that we display our interest. So essentially, Maria is asking them for permission that one of us can attend the upcoming meeting.
Okay, and she hasn't heard back from them yet, right?
I don't think so, although I'm not live connected to
What
my
was the date?
mailbox.
She hasn't heard back, and she sent this on February 24th. So, all right, so we'll keep an eye on that. The other thing is that we have the Kiss the Ground movie screening.
Right.
It's on our website, and I believe Recreation also posted it, so it's on there.
Yeah, I reached out So I made a flyer, and it's in the hands of communication community, hence Tara is reporting that it's out.
It is, yeah.
And I also follow up with Montgomery and Hillsborough, because they wanted to be part of the screening. And I suggested them that since it's more difficult to find time and date and venue for all three together, that maybe we can do some sort of synchronized screening of one film in 1 month, so that each town will select different venue, different day, different time, and if we jointly market this event, then residents from 3 towns can essentially select, based on their availability, whether they want to watch it in their hometown or elsewhere, because it's all kind of local community here. So I didn't hear back from them, but that's what I communicated, and I think that concludes the committee report on
Steve, what are you doing with the
Perfect.
library on Wednesday night? The head of the library committee asked me to attend a meeting with the library.
Well, that's related to my other hat, the New Jersey Electric Vehicle Association,
Yeah.
right? So, the new library, the South Branch, they are they already open?
Yeah, a year maybe.
Okay,
2
okay,
years
so
at
they just wanted to install the charging station. I mean, it's all lined up, so they have capacity for dual charger, but the way where the wire is coming out of the ground makes it more difficult for more than one parking spot, because the way how they put it. So I'm going to talk about a better way of planning for the charging station. I'll kind of wrap it with some other blurb, but
Excuse me, what is the meeting that Maria wants to go to?
The Franklin Township Youth Council. She
Youth
wants us to
Council.
go to, she wants us to go to that.
Right. Yeah. If any of you haven't been to the youth center, it's an amazing place on Lewis Street. It really is. I've been there 3-4 times now. Every time we just get blown away by it.
Oh, it is, it's great.
It really is.
yeah.
Any other updates from anybody?
So would Maria go, she'll represent us if she,
She'll let us know, I guess, when she's gonna go,
Okay.
and maybe she'll ask if someone will
Right.
go with her or
Sure.
not, I'm not sure.
You let me know, I can go with her.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
good. I think that completes our committee reports, subcommittee.
I think so,
Is that
yeah.
right? Hot topics?
You know, just, you may have seen in the paper that EPA granted the state $19 million for electric school buses.
Uh-huh.
However, the initial grants are gonna go to the major urban areas like Newark and Trenton, Elizabeth, and I guess down to the shore, what's that?
Union City and Lakewood.
Exactly, Lakewood, yeah. And maybe there will be others coming if this is successful.
The other day I was in Princeton and found myself behind a Princeton University electric bus.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
I guess between,
Yeah.
Princeton is spreading, going
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
Stony Brook and so forth, so they have a bus to run around various parts.
Wow, interesting.
I'm gonna mention this right now.
I think this Princeton bus is made in China bus, right? No, it's not to laugh. They make high quality electric vehicles.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're making 70% at least of the electric vehicles
Right.
being made in the world.
The reason I'm making that comment, because for all the grant programs for the school bus, it has to be Buy American.
Oh, okay,
They
okay.
have to meet certain percentage,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
pretty much
Components.
precludes
Yeah.
Right.
Chinese buses. And Princeton, I think they didn't go through the grant, so they were able to go to make. And it's actually, if you don't need the money from the government, you can do things faster.
Yeah, very true.
I am now in I don't relate it, but I'm electrifying freedom, you know.
Paul, before you get to that,
Go ahead.
with the,
I was gonna mention it.
well, I thought that was the Sarah thing.
It
It
is, right,
is.
yeah.
Well, I was gonna, well, we were on other things.
Yeah, go.
So, I have two different things, and both of them are related to trees. And I did a little bit more research here. A site at what I believe is 395 Elizabeth Avenue. It's at the corner of Elizabeth and Grant Street, which is where the entrance is. And if you go down, it's sort of a dirt gravel road, and you go all the way down, and on the left-hand side, between there and 287, it's like all the trees, it appears, have been just devastated. And I don't know if this is something that we have looked at before, but everything is gone. Looking at, and maybe this will help, Tara, I have block numbers
Okay,
that
go
might
ahead.
help. But the owner of it says it's E&G Equities, which is at 187 Davidson Avenue, which is Rotoclip. So it is Rotoclip property.
I don't think we looked at that one. I thought we
What
looked
is
at
it?
across,
Yeah,
across
well, I
from
know
there.
I've seen this, you know.
Yeah, we
You have
see
seen
it.
it?
They
Okay.
didn't
That's why I said it
I'm
goes
trying to
through-
remember, I
it goes
think
through
it's just
from-
another warehouse, but,
Yeah,
Yeah, let me look and see. Okay.
yeah.
I think they are putting a warehouse in there. I remember that
Yeah.
for a while. It's a big lot.
So
They're even taking out some
So,
solar cells
yeah.
that
Well,
Rotoclip had in there.
if you look at the map, you can see the solar cells are in one area, but where all the trees have been removed is a separate area. So,
That was,
I was just asking, I didn't know if this full site had been evaluated.
it was evaluated.
It's been evaluated, determined how many trees have been removed and what they're going to owe or
Because we made
plant.
comments about the solar, and why not put solar on the roof instead of taking the cells off?
Okay.
That was the place we said that, yeah.
So this is going to be a warehouse, okay?
And it was filed well before the ordinance,
Okay, and so everything is copacetic as far as this property is
as far as we
concerned?
know.
Okay, so the second thing is unrelated but close by. If you drive down 287 or even look from the back of Rotoclip property and other properties there, drive down 287 where the billboards are, I have pictures here. In front of at least the first two billboards that you get to, all the trees have been chopped off about halfway so that they can see the billboards. So the question is, and I haven't had the opportunity to bring this to Shade Tree yet, and it's been like this for quite a while. The question is that legal? Or, I mean, they're basically ruining the canopy, possibly killing the trees. The ordinance says removal of trees.
And they're not
They
removed.
haven't removed the trees, but they've cut them off. And if this is something that legally they were allowed to do, then I do believe we should change the ordinance to say something to the effect of, you know, cutting off trees halfway, which is basically killing the trees, maybe not all killing the trees, but removing the canopy. There's a difference between removing trees and cutting trees halfway to the ground.
I noticed it at another stretch of 287. I think that belongs to Bridgewater.
Mhm.
Same thing.
Yes, by the billboard, over by the ballpark, I think. And that
Ah,
area.
okay. So you are not talking about Franklin, actually.
Well, now I'm talking about Franklin, but I know what you're talking
Ah,
about
okay.
also.
Mhm,
So,
yeah,
you know, we can't do anything about what happened in Bridgewater, but it's
Yeah.
the same situation. I know what you're talking about,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not removing the trees, and from reviewing the shade tree ordinance numerous times, I don't have any recall of there being anything saying you can't, you know, cut the tree like that, so I don't think there's anything in
I
the
think-
ordinance that precludes that.
No, there isn't that
Yeah.
I'm aware of either, but
Yeah,
I think it's
so-
something that we need to
Right.
talk about
Right.
and address because, you know, we need the canopy. even
Right,
though they haven't
absolutely.
killed the trees, they haven't
Yeah.
removed the trees,
think-
they have removed the canopy.
I think the removal should be defined by percentage. I don't know what the percentage would be, but if they remove more than, let's say, 20% branches, it would be considered removed tree.
Well, I mean, they could remove 20% branches from the bottom and, or from the top and leave the
That's
branches.
the entire conversation, how would you define it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's how you define it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
we have to,
but-
we have to figure that
yeah.
out.
And of course, there's always the problem of tree companies working for PSE&G going along liberally trimming branches to
Yeah.
protect the
Power line.
power lines.
I thought about that because I was driving down Eastern Avenue and looking at that also, and I see that as two different things. Even though PSE&G does a crappy job when it comes to trimming the trees, they don't have, I don't
Why
think they
they
have
trim
arborists.
underneath is not, you
Yeah,
know, horizontal branches
right,
underneath the lines.
but the reason for doing that is to protect our power
Yeah,
sources,
yeah.
the
And
lines.
they have absolute authority to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
this,
so
granted by the BPU.
So I don't see that as comparable to where a commercial property
Yeah.
is doing this to enhance their business, and it has nothing to do with power lines or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just so that they can advertise on their billboards there, so. Just something, I'll be bringing it to Shade Tree also, but I just wanted to have it on here also, and I know
When is the next meeting, Shade Tree?
Shade Tree, the last Shade Tree meeting was, what's today? Monday?
Today.
No, today's environmental. The last Shade Tree meeting was,
Today's 26.
today's Monday? It was last Thursday.
The
Okay.
third Thursday, right? Yeah.
Third or fourth Thursday.
Apropos of the Shade Tree Committee, Sarah Malone is finally getting our Environmental Stewardship Award
That's
tomorrow
what I was
night
gonna
at
say.
council.
Yep.
I think it would be a good opportunity to ask about the manager, whether he has yet developed a means for
Watering the trees?
watering
Isn't it?
planted trees.
Yeah.
Very good.
We are making a presentation tomorrow night at the town council meeting. Sarah Malone has retired, or is she not gone? She retired.
She retired from the Shade Tree. She's no longer on Shade Tree.
They've been there for many years, and she did, I pulled her resume off of
I cannot
LinkedIn,
make it.
and she's done all sorts of environmental work. So we've given her, in recognition of outstanding efforts of environmental stewardship, November 2023. She couldn't make that meeting. Now, the next meeting, so that's gonna be tomorrow night.
I think that's a much nicer plaque than we've done in the past.
Well, I think today's a night, this is from a new company.
Yeah, I know.
They,
Yeah.
blue ribbon went out.
Right.
This is Crown,
Yeah, Crown
Trophy in
They're
Greenbrook.
good. Yeah.
and they do a lot of stuff for the town.
Yeah,
Greenbrook?
Greenbrook, yeah.
on
That's
22.
local.
Yeah.
That's good.
Phone number's on the back. So I was gonna mention this, and anybody wants to come to the town council meeting, it's right in the beginning, so you don't have to stay for the whole meeting. It's like the first thing they do after the pledge.
Okay.
Yeah, her, Arnold, you did write up a nice thing I'll read, and I just wanted to mention that, where is she? Sarah was, she's a research specialist at Rutgers Environmental Analysis and Communications Group, Red River Initiatives, Inclusive Healthy Communities Grant Program, graduate, University of Pennsylvania, Master of Environmental Studies, and project manager, watershed planning, wetland, habitat, she's done all sorts of stuff. And chair and member of Franklin Township. Now, this read 2013. I think she's been on that longer, hasn't she?
Oh, she was on Shade Tree before she was chair.
Yeah, yeah.
And she left, I'm gonna say, a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that.
So that's what I'm gonna do, I'll do that tomorrow night. It was a good segue from your observations about the tree cutting.
But you said I wrote something in
Yeah, you
December
did.
for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
In December, you gave me a write-up.
Okay.
It says, while Sarah was a member of the Shade Tree Commission, she was instrumental in advancing the care and visibility of the tree canopy in Franklin Township. Sarah worked tirelessly to educate the public through many Arbor Day events, maintaining Franklin Township's Tree City USA certification. Recruited several new members to the Shade Tree Commission, developed cover in Franklin, to maintain canopy cover in Franklin. Sarah has contributed thousands of hours of volunteer time to help manage the shade tree of Franklin Township, which will produce environmental and community benefits for generations of residents.
Oh, I wrote that?
You did. What can I tell you? It's got your name on it.
You can add something to it. You can say that Arnie is still very upset that she left.
I'll add that.
And he does not forgive her.
Right. Okay. So now we're on to old business. Anything there? Annual report? Where we?
The annual report, I'm still waiting for the information from Adopt a Dream to just get in there.
Oh, okay.
So as soon as I have that, I can finalize it. But it's basic, I showed it last time, I think it's basically
Right.
done.
The community energy plan, I know you had some stuff we gave you last time, but you're
Yeah.
still missing a few odds and ends.
Yeah, we're still working on the initiative, so yeah, still
Okay.
moving forward with that. Oh, one thing though to add to that is that, as part of that community energy plan, we had received the grant to do it, and then we said we were gonna do the micromobility study, so I finally got the okay to do the purchase order, because the budget is now all, basically, the temporary budget at least is set enough. So I alerted the consultant, which is NV5, that they can, we're gonna be sending them the PO as soon as they sign it. The next step after that will be, they'll hold a kickoff meeting with us and they'll let us know when that is. So that is now gonna be officially underway.
Did you see the email about a micro-mobility workshop?
I did, I signed up for that.
You did
yes.
sign, I
Yep,
saw it,
yep.
that's what I was gonna
I
pull up.
did, yeah, I signed
That
up
just
for
came
it.
today,
Yeah.
that's a full day.
Yeah, that's okay, yeah, I heard.
It's a Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
So, yeah, so hopefully by the next time we meet, we'll at least be able to have a few dates that we can meet with the consultant to start the micromobility work.
Is that seems to be for free? Do we have to pay for that? Or is
It's
it-
through the grant.
Oh,
Through the grant,
oh, so
yeah.
you go, because,
Oh, for the workshop, you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Oh, the workshop is free, yeah, that's fine. I mean, our study that we're doing for
Right.
micromobility
Yeah,
is
that-
funded
that's
through a
in the
grant,
grant.
yeah.
yeah, I was tempted to go to spend the day.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
free, so.
What is
Yeah.
the status of the micromobility study?
It's
So-
ride-wise.
The study or the,
You just made a reference to it.
the micromobility study, so the
Gable
consultant,
Associates.
NV5.
NV5, right?
NV5 is going to do the micromobility study. We sent them the purchase order. As soon as they sign it and return it, they can basically start working.
Mhm.
And they told me that the first step is they'll arrange a kickoff meeting with us. So
Mhm.
members of the EC, probably the township,
Mhm.
planning maybe, and they'll kind of go through what their process is and get ideas from us about what we want to see moving forward. So hopefully that'll be in a few weeks.
Okay.
Okay, and we already talked about no mow till Earth Day as the.
We are branding it as a Save the Mow.
Save the Mow,
Save-
yep.
So we
I don't know why it's listed here as a no.
save the.
Cause I just keep forgetting to change it.
I read what was written.
Yep, I just keep forgetting to change it on the, agenda.
Green infrastructure projects at Naaman Williams Memorial Park. We ought to add now McAfee School on that. The lady that came just before the meeting.
Yeah, that we have to talk about separately, because I don't think that's under my purview.
It-
So,
well, it
I
was-
don't know
It
that
was
I.
under ours.
Yeah.
So I figured.
But was it, I
Yeah.
guess I have to go back and figure out, like, did we just apply for the grant, or do we actually have
We sponsored getting it done.
the sponsor
And
getting it
then,
done?
because Zarina and I went to I had a ribbon cutting,
Mm.
and there's a picture of us, and, the teacher did the whole thing.
The teacher did
And,
it.
and the kids were helping.
Right, but we don't have any, we didn't do any work for it. The township, like, we don't maintain it, we don't.
No, I think we expanded it and added more than they had. We
Okay.
like doubled or more than doubled the size of it. It was a learning thing for the kids,
Mm,
and then became a community,
yeah,
I think, just like
Okay.
Damon,
yeah,
the same way.
okay. I'll have to look into and see what's going on there, yeah. We're talking about this Pine Grove Community Garden, which someone came just to the meeting before,
A teacher,
Annabelle Figueredo,
right.
and she's basically saying the grant is due March 7th, and she wants us to apply on her behalf to have it more work done, which is great. It's just that I have to figure out like how we
Yeah, it
work
didn't come
that.
from Board of Education, it came from us.
Yeah. But we haven't done
Remember that
anything
one,
with
Ted?
it. We've had I've done not one work on it since I've been with you guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's just, I've certainly had, well, I don't know, not much, but some communication with that garden.
Yeah.
It's mostly been a project, I mean, it was a teacher there that started it, but community members have carried it on, but I haven't, I mean, I used to be in contact with them for Sustainable Jersey certification.
That's what.
Yeah. Maybe
That
we use
was-
it for
that
points.
was my
Yeah.
connection.
Walter, do you remember when you were chairman, did this, it was after Arnold, I think it was under your time.
Not in
You know,
detail, but
no?
no. Community garden was a robust activity at one point,
Yes.
and apparently there was some, I won't say infighting, but maybe some miscommunications and things sort of quieted down for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what's happening now.
Well, in terms of the green infrastructure grant that we have going at Naaman Williams Park,
Right.
we have all the concept plans are finalized, and so I have reached out to DPW, and I will continue to reach out to them I want to schedule a meeting with them and put together the supplies and materials list we need to actually implement the green infrastructure project. So we're basically ready to go. The new path at Naaman Williams has been completely repaved, which is great. It looks good. DPW did put in under drains in 2 sections that typically flood. They haven't been closed up yet because I think they're still working out where the water is going to be diverted to. But under drains have been put in. Some of the new fitness stations have been put in, but not all. So we're at a good point where we can like start ordering what we need, but I need to get, in contact with them. So that's where we're at. And the interim report is actually due this week to Sustainable Jersey, so I'll complete that and get it here.
Well, okay, we'll see what happens with this McAfee one. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I think that completes all business really, unless
I
somebody
think
else has
so.
something they want to bring up. If not, we'll go back to public comment.
I don't think there's anything. Let me just make sure I have nothing outstanding here. Nope.
Nope.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Motion to open the
Move
the
to
meeting.
open to the public.
All in favor? Second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody else want to make another comment?
You opened it up and I have to.
Sure, that's why we did
This is,
it.
I think, my third one. I'm quite stimulated here. Hearing that you were talking previously, I guess about youth involvement, whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel so fortunate that years ago, a friend of mine became the Middlesex County 4-H associate agent, and she is now the Middlesex County agent. It's like, are we involved with 4-H? Because I was asked to be a judge for multiple, competitions, and I have been so impressed with the 4-Hers that I've come across for over 20 years, the different competitions. Let's connect with 4-H. Let's, bring the youth in, get them excited about what we're doing here in Franklin and, in Somerset County. As I said, my friend is Middlesex, but we can, it's just, I want to bring that out to you. Let's bring the youth in, and 4-H impresses the heck out of me.
We are trying through the youth center. It's been, they couldn't find out to come here. So now Maria, who's the youth contact, she said, we'll go there. So now we're trying to get that.
Yeah, no, I heard, I don't know if that includes 4-H, but
It
No, it doesn't.
doesn't,
No,
yeah.
it's
We
for-
can work.
I'm a big advocate.
Yeah.
They just impress
We
me.
can definitely work closer with 4-H, that's for sure. We do work with the high school environmental club frequently, and Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, but the 4-H is a really good avenue to approach, yes.
The 4-H fair is the one off Route 202. I worked the lemonade stand
Oh, yeah.
for the temple.
Yeah.
We used to do falafel, then we just come back to lemonade. but I was squeezing them into some.
The kids are great, the 4-Hers
Yeah.
are great.
They are, they are.
That's a real big effort. Debbie, you had something?
Yeah, going back to the one plan with the private home, with the patio.
Right.
I'm just trying to connect the dots, how that works. So is that something that's ultimately going to the zoning board?
Zoning,
Yeah.
yeah.
And this is, now, I'm equating it to Canal Walk where I live.
Right.
So if I wanted to expand my patio, I would have to go to the canal, put in a PMR to
Right.
Canal Walk.
Yes,
And they have their own requirements.
yeah.
But does Canal Walk understand that Franklin Township, because I don't think a Franklin Township person comes out to
No, I think they do.
look at they would come out to look at the patio.
Yeah.
So at that point, so Canal Walk or Summerfields could give this person approval, maybe based on their recommendations, or this fellow is saying, I'm just trying to see where it went wrong and how you stop it from going wrong in the future. And maybe this is such a small incident and not really a big deal.
Probably what happened was someone from our code office came out to do the inspection, like for example, even any work that you do in your own home, a fire inspector might come out or a plumbing inspector. There are people that do, you know, things like come out and check the outdoor area as well. So a code official probably came out just to give, you know, it's a typical small patio, probably said giving, you know, just doing the final inspection and then realized, uh-oh, this, you know, exceeds what you're actually allowed to have. And it probably was pretty apparent because when the code inspector probably went out there and saw how large the patio is on top of the house and the asphalt driveway and the masonry that was there, the impervious
And the
coverage
deck.
and the deck, the impervious coverage is probably, you know.
Right, so that, wouldn't that be on the contractor that put it in, that he would have to
No.
go back and undo?
No, it's
And
on the
I'm
homeowner.
not suggesting you do that.
It's on the homeowner because it's your, whoever you hire as a contractor, you're supposed to make sure that they're getting the right permits and they're following the right rules. Even though you hire them as a professional, it's still on your,
Yeah,
on you.
because, you know, you might say, oh, big deal, and plant a tree and that'll be all good, but you don't know, the person next to them, all of a sudden, this may start washing down into their yard. Now they've got massive piles of water coming.
Yep.
So, and maybe this is just a one-off, and you don't
Yeah.
see it much, I don't know.
We don't. Since
Yeah.
I've been here, this is the second time that I've had someone apply for a variance after the fact.
Yeah.
So most of what we do, it's straightforward, but this does happen. And probably what happened is they probably just thought, oh, good, we're gonna get our patio approved. And then our code person came out and did the measurement and said, you're
Well,
over.
should
Sure.
before the patio is built, they would have, I would think they would have to submit a plan to the township.
Right.
They
And
do.
then the township would let you know whether it's an appropriate size. They would
They do,
would
yeah.
approve it. That would be after Canal Walk said,
Yeah.
yes, it's okay,
Yeah.
which is not relevant to the township.
No.
If Canal Walk says it's okay, then you go to the township, show them the plan, they say the plan is okay, then you build
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we.
For
we
things
have
like a patio offense, you would submit your
shed,
permit
a
application, a shed, you would submit your permit application to the township, and then when the code person comes out to inspect the final thing, they bring out your permit application, so he probably said, oh, look, they're saying the landscaper drew the wrong measurement. So he probably looked at it and said, uh-oh, this doesn't match this, and that's how everything came about. So, yes.
All right, so it's not a
There's
frequent
no-
occurrence.
No.
Or he drew the
Small
right.
contractors can be very unaware of requirements.
Correct.
I know when we had a new septic system put in and they told us, well, we may have to bring in some fill for it, for the mound. And I said, well, then you have to get a soil transportation permit. What?
Right, it is true, it's very true.
I had to go get the permit,
Yep.
not the contractor.
Yep, you're right.
We do have a limit on the size of the decks in Canal Walk.
Oh, yeah,
And the inspector came by in one case to put a ramp in, because the guy was in a wheelchair. And the fire guy said, you need the deck to be a certain size so he can turn the wheelchair around on the deck. They wanted an electric thing. And so we said, yeah, okay, fine, that's a health, it was a fire safety. So that the inspector approved it and said this is what, so we'll work that way.
I think we have one, I'm sorry, did you have a?
No.
Well, I was just thinking further about that application. Could we suggest that they plant shrubs at the bottom of the slope to sort of slow down any runoff?
We could, we
Mhm.
definitely could, that might be a better option, yeah, or an additional option.
Again, that
Yeah,
will
we could
depend
do
on
that.
your HOA's rules also.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I'll put that in there too.
You were gonna say something?
Yeah, it was just a question. That ordinance, is it to prevent flooding? Like that's the purpose of it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I
yeah.
did like your idea of a rain garden one.
Yeah, I don't know there's gonna be enough room on that actual
Yeah.
site,
Yeah.
and that would be a good option, but also too, the rain garden really has to be at the lowest point of the property.
Yeah.
And if it's so far down, though, it also has to be able to withstand the slope, so at that point, it might not be
Yeah.
able to.
There's also
But,
like
yeah.
no mow lawn that kind of like
Mhm.
it grows long and then kind of topples over. That
Yeah.
the root system is a little bit better at like
Yeah.
collecting water.
That's a
They
good
could replace
idea.
their lawn with something like that.
That's a good idea. I mean, I don't know if a homeowners association will allow, but we
Yeah.
can definitely,
Yeah.
Bring it up. I think it's a good idea for sure.
I know if you wanted more info, like I know a place that sells seeds for that.
Thank you. I think it's a good one.
Very good, okay. Any more comments? Motion to close the meeting to both.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye, passed.
I move to close the meeting.
To adjourn, motion to adjourn,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Yes, it does not.